Hello, and welcome to another episode of Taylor Talks Comics. Today I have a haul of epic proportions. Stay tuned. Okay, thanks for watching. This haul is coming from cheapgraphicnovels.com. Got this in, so I wanted to do a video showing it off. And in the intro there, when I said epic proportions, it was a double entendre of sorts. Because the majority of what's in this box are Marvel Epic Collections. Get these out of here. So yeah, Cheap Graphic Novels is a great place to buy books. Online, cheapgraphicnovels.com. Highly recommend them. They have great prices, great customer service, and as you can see, great packaging. Everything is in there nice and tight, snug, nothing bouncing around, nothing going to get damaged. Let's see if we can move these cords out of the way here. Clean up the shot a little bit. By the way, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and just to let you guys know, I do go live once a week for Taylor Talks Comics Live. If you want to see any past episodes, go to the live tab on the YouTube channel you're watching right now, and you can see the past episodes. All right, so I'm a big fan of the Epic Collections from Marvel, and I had a lot of catching up to do on recent releases. So that's where this haul comes in. So I'm going to kind of show them off one by one. The first one is, well, let me move the camera down a little bit here. Get a closer shot. There we go. All right, so this first one is Marvel 2-in-1, Volume 2. If you're not familiar with the Marvel Epic Collections, they're like a comprehensive collection. They all have different titles, but the title in itself, when it's all said and done, they'll have collected every issue from that title, barring any sort of licensing issues, which this one has. But it's supposed to be for completest, total comprehensive, not missing any issues from beginning to end. However, they do release them out of order sometimes. Not this line in particular, but I'll probably have some soon that I'll show you off that have been released out of order. But the volume numbers are on the back, which is nice, because then when you have them on your shelf, you don't have like awkward random numbers on your spine that don't match up. And also it gives you the ability to only buy a random volume if you only want one story. You don't want to collect the entire line. So it's really a line that feeds multiple types of collectors, which I really enjoy. This one is exciting. The Thing, if you're a long-time listener to my channel or viewer of my channel, you know this, but for any new ones, The Thing is my all-time favorite Marvel character. The Fantastic Four being my all-time favorite Marvel comic. So this Marvel 2-in-1 is the second volume. We did have a volume 1 released already. This one collects issues 20, 22 through 36, annual number 1, and Fantastic Four annual number 11. Missing issue number 21 because Doc Savage was in that issue. Marvel couldn't get the rights to it for this collection, which kind of stinks, but what can you do? So yeah, they're about usually 400 to 500 pages. Per volume, so they're really nice collections. Let me try to get that glare off the camera or off the page. There we go. How about that? And this is an era of 2-in-1 I've never read before, so I'm excited to dive into this. Looks like this first issue, the annual for Fantastic Four 11, written by Roy Thomas with artwork by John Buscema. Trying to see a lot of the other artists and stuff in here. The boisterous Bill Mantlo is writing this story with Ron Wilson on artwork. Yes, Ron Wilson is an incredible Thing artist. He did a lot of the issues of the Thing ongoing series that John Byrne was writing. Here's another Ron Wilson issue. So the 2-in-1, though, back in the day, the Thing was a very popular character for Marvel, and these 2-in-1 issues would just have the Thing teaming up with another entity within Marvel, kind of giving the boost, a little bit of the rub, if you're using pro wrestling terms, to the other character to try to boost sales and get them more renown within the comics community. A lot of great artwork in here. I'm excited to dive into this one. Looks like Ron Wilson does a lot of it. These also have great credits pages too. And they tell you all the writers involved and all the pencilers. And Ron Wilson being listed first tells me that he's probably the majority of it. Sal Buscema, John Buscema, also great. Marie Severin, underrated artist. I really like her work. So that is volume 2 of Marvel 2-in-1. We have 2 volumes of that so far. Hopefully they keep going. Silver Surfer, Sunrise, and Shadow Fall. So I don't collect every Epic collection. There are some people in the community that have like all 350 or plus, whichever, however many there are at this point. I only collect certain lines, and I do try to complete the entire line. So that's kind of how I faithfully follow Epic collections, and a lot of these are filling in those gaps for me. Silver Surfer is one that I'm definitely collecting, and it's pretty comprehensive. For Silver Surfer, I didn't get Volume 1 because those are all appearances within the Fantastic Four issues that I have in other collections. And then Volume 2, which has not been released yet, like I said, they come out of order. Volume 2 will be the entirety of the Lee Buscema run, which I have the Taschen edition of, which you can see on another video. But beyond that, Volumes 3 and on have not been collected in omnibus or any other format, and the Epic collections are pretty comprehensive in that regard. So this looks to be 90s era. Who's the artist on this one? It looks like Joe Mad, but I don't think it is. I think it's somebody trying to look like Joe Mad. Ramon Bernardo, sorry, with Mark Pennington on inks. I'm not familiar with the artist. But yeah, this is a 90s era Silver Surfer. You can tell by the artwork here. This is also an era of Silver Surfer I've never read before, which will be exciting to dive into. Galactus the Devourer, number 3. So what does this collect? This is volume 14, by the way. It collects 1998 through 2000. Silver Surfer half, and then 139 through 146. Silver Surfer and Thor annual 1998. Galactus the Devourer 1 through 6. And Silver Surfer Loftier Than Mortals 1 through 2. Yeah, so that Galactus the Devourer is a series I've never read before. And all 6 issues are in order here, because the table of contents are great too. They tell you the order of each issue with the page numbers, which I appreciate. It's very important for me as a reader to have page numbers and issue numbers. It looks like, yeah, I'm going to guess, you can see kind of too, it looks like you have a full bleed on the Galactus issues. I'm trying to see who the creative team is on that run. Where does it start? Christy Shield. Oh, that's the colors. Louise Simonson and John Muth is on breakdowns. Bill Sienkiewicz on finishes. Whoa. Is Bill Sienkiewicz there for the whole thing? John Muth also is an incredible artist that has history using painted art style. Let's see here. This is John Buscema on pencils, Bill Sienkiewicz on inks. Okay, this art on this Galactus, I might have to move this up to my reading list. That's exciting. Yeah, so another Silver Surfer volume, exciting. My first modern era collection. So the Epic collections have historically kind of collected the era of Marvel from 1961 with FF number 1 all the way through, depending on the line, we're thinking like late 90s-ish. I think a lot of the lines seemingly kind of end around the time of Onslaught. Some of them end at the end of their volume 1 of printing. It kind of varies, really, but around about that 90s to 2000 period is when they're ending. And then anything after that's going to be kind of a modern era epic. There's not an exact science to those dates or anything like that, but that's about what it looks like. So this is my first modern era epic collection. One of the things I am collecting in epics is anything mutant related. So Deadpool is the mutant here in question. And you can see, showing off the previous Silver Surfer, the trade dress is pretty similar on the modern era epics, but they do have this kind of, I don't know what that is, that 1/6 kind of banner at the front cover, showing you all the credits on the left side there, and then the title, and then the cover there. But the spines match up. The spines will look great on your shelf too if you're collecting like all of the modern era. Like for instance, I'm collecting all of Daredevil in epic collections, modern and classic era. So when I have all my Daredevils together, they're going to look really similar on the shelf, which is great. The only difference here, you'll see it says modern era right there instead of just epic collection. And then on another difference too, they have like the colored banner, title lettering here, but the little image down here is in color on the modern eras. And that's an important thing too if you're not familiar. It's like the spines all look different. So all the Marvel 2-in-1s will have this color for the text in the banner there. All the Silver Surfers will match up like this with the title of the epic there. So they look great on the shelf. That's what I'm trying to get at here. But this is my first modern era epic. I'm kind of excited to read this too because I like the idea of these two wisecracking superheroes kind of teaming up. Here's a listing of all the modern era epics they have so far, which is not very many, but they are pumping them out pretty rapidly going forward. One thing I did notice on some people that are already doing videos on this, I think like Curtis over at the Epic Marvel podcast pointed this out when he first got it in, is the table of contents is not as detailed as the classic era, which really frustrates me. It does have the order of the issues here, it looks like, maybe. Yes, because this one skips around a lot. Ed McGuinness, I guess, was a little bit late on the schedule, so they had to kind of skip around on issues. So we have issues 1 through 5, 8 through 10, 13 through 14. In total, just to say, how about that? It collects 1 through 14, 17 through 18, and the number 1.mu. And so skipping 15 and 16, but those will be in volume 2. Another difference, too, is the trade dress on the back looks different, but it does have the volume number there. So there's no credits page, or there's no proper table of contents in here. And also the covers, I don't think, have notation. Yeah. Oh, no, they do. Okay, the cover at least tells you which issue you're reading down here, which is frustrating. Some of the modern collections of Marvel and their omnibuses and whatnot don't have page numbers, don't have proper table of contents, and don't have issue numbers on the covers. Like, it's very frustrating when they do that. But this at least has the issue number on here, so at least I can go back to the credits page and match it up pretty easily. But yeah, I'm excited to read this one. I have read some of these. Okay. I have not read any of this era either. So I'm excited to read some modern era Deadpool. Oh, this looks like a throwback. Oh, this is when he goes back to an issue of like Steve Ditko Spider-Man era, right? Oh, I love the artwork, how it looks so vintage there. Who's the artist on this one? Issue number 7. Is it Ed McGuinness? Oh no, issue 7. Jerry Duggan's the writer, and Scott Koblish is the artist. Okay. So that'll be exciting to read also. Spider-Man Deadpool. This one is Thor Immortal Flesh. This was a reprint. I'm collecting all of Thor in Omnibus / Epic Collection, with however route that goes. I do think I'm going to get the Walt Simonson stuff in Epic Collections when those come out, because I do like the original colors. But this is volume 17. This was a reprint that I've been missing in my collection. I think I have every Thor Epic to date now, besides the ones that are in Omnibus volumes 1, 3, and 4. I'm missing Omnibus volume 2, but I have the Epic Collections to cover that. Yeah, so this is Thor eras 1989 to 1990, and includes issues 401 to 418 with annual 14. We got working here by Randall Friends, Tom DeFalco, Ron Friends, Roy Thomas, Bob Layton, pencilers, Ron Friends, Herb Trimpe, Al Milgram, Tony DeZinga, Mike Mignola is in here. That's nice. So this is late 80s, early 90s Thor. This is an era of Thor I've not gotten to yet in my reading. I've been doing a big Thor readathon. That's cool. Double page splash. Who's the art on that one? Joe Sinnott, finished art. I can tell that. Ron Friends on pictures. Yeah, Joe Sinnott, when he does the finishing or inks on Thor and Fantastic Four, really adds like that Kirby flair to it, being such a frequent Kirby inker back in the day. So I'm excited to get to this era of Thor. I've been reading a lot of Thor comics this year. It's one of the characters I'm really trying to dive into, and it'll be exciting to do that. It's like Dr. Doom plays a role in here. Yeah, Ron Friend. You can tell they're really going for that Kirby, the Kirby aesthetic here, because it's like the opening splash page there. It looks very Kirby era. And like I said, Joe Sinnott, whenever they put him on, like they try to put him on as the inker for any sort of post-Kirby Thor or post-Kirby Fantastic Four to try to, excuse me, I take a drink. Try to keep it, the art as even keel as they could. Here's X-Force. So this is volume 3? Yeah, volume 3. So we already have volume 1 and 2 of X-Force. So now this is volume 3. This is collecting the rest of the Grey Capullo era of X-Force, which is like he was like the first, how should I say it? He's like the biggest artist that came after Liefeld with the X-Force, and he hung around for about 20 issues, I think. Fabian Nicieza writes the entirety of this epic collection, but also collects some artists in here: Greg Capullo, Art Thibert, Joe Madureira, Tony Daniel, Paul Smith, Klaus Janson. Looks like those are probably on inks. Oh, Rob Liefeld comes back for an issue, I believe. I forget which issue that is. But yeah, so this epic collects 1993 era stuff. We've got X-Force 20 through 26, Annual number 2, Cable number 1 through 4, and then Deadpool Circle Chase 1 through 4, and Nomad number 20. So a lot of double dipping if you have the Deadpool Epic Collection volumes 1 or 2. I can't remember which one Circle Chase is in. I think volume 1. But still a bunch of X-Force issues that have not been collected in Epics just yet. And I love X-Force. I love the bombastic 90s era stuff. I love Rob Liefeld's era. And Grey Capullo's era has been a lot of fun to read through. So far, I've read through the entirety of like Liefeld's run on New Mutants and Epics, and then the first 2 volumes of X-Force. So I'm excited to dive into this one. This will be on my reading stack relatively soon. But I've read Circle Chase and I've read Cable 1 through 4 very recently, because Cable's another character I'm trying to read through a bunch. So the issues that'll be new to me will be X-Force 20 through 26. X-Men: The Brood Saga. I think I've read this entirety of this epic collection in an omnibus back in the day. I used to have these omnis and I sold them because now I'm collecting mutants in epic collection because I just like the way they're mapped better. But this collects Uncanny X-Men 154 through 167, Annual number 6, and material from Special Edition X-Men number 1, years 1982 through 83, and it is volume 9. So I can't wait till we have all of Claremont's era in Epic Collection. You can see, there's like some sort of, at the printer, smash that page a little bit. That's fine, no big deal. So Chris Claremont, this is all Chris Claremont's era. We have Dave Cockrum, Paul Smith on artwork, as well as Bill Sienkiewicz and Brent Anderson, I believe, on inks. No, they're pencilers. I'm sorry, pencilers and layouts. Inkers are down here. Yes, I think I'm almost certain I've read every issue of this in omnibus format, but it'll be exciting to reread. I've never read Claremont's X-Men like from beginning to end, and I'm excited to be able to do that with Epic Collections. And since I'm collecting all the mutant stuff in Epics, I think I might just do like a big, huge mutant readathon, where I start from the very beginning and read through all the issues of these series as they come up, like New Mutants, Excalibur, X-Force, all that stuff. So that'll be fun. And Claremont's X-Men's always just epic. Like there's a reason why people tout it so highly. It's definitely worth reading. And even though these issues back then, especially like during the Jim Shooter editorial era, there are some extras in the back, some penciled ink pages. Even though this was like the Jim Shooter era, where every issue could be someone's first issue, it's still rewarding to read Claremont's X-Men from beginning to end, to fill in all the gaps of the plot threads he lays out very early on and whatnot. Daredevil Last Rites. This is the Anna Cinti era. I believe this was a reprint as well that I was missing. So this is volume 15, 1990 through 1992. It collects issues 283 through 300 and annual number 7. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure this was a reprint because I've been waiting to get this volume in to read all of Anna Cinti's Daredevil. So I wanted to read it in order and together all at once. So I'll be excited to be able to do that finally. But Daredevil is a great character who has never really had a bad run, period, ever in comics. Like, I feel like his runs are either absolutely amazing. Hey, Greg Capullo on our pencils on this one, the aforementioned. He either has like runs that are good or great. Like, he never really dips below that bad line, especially even dating back to the Silver Age, which I advocate for. Marvel Age 106, official Marvel Zombie magazine. It's giving Daredevil 300 retrospective. Does that have articles in here? Oh, no, it's just the cover. Okay. So that'd be cool to have the Marvel Age articles in there. Yeah, so I'm really excited to dive into Anna Cinti's run. She's like probably the longest run of Daredevil of the classic era that I've not read. I still have a lot of modern era Daredevil that I've not read. Deadpool, Drowning Man. This is a classic epic. Volume 3, collecting 1987 through 98. And it collects Deadpool 10 through 20, Deadpool and Death Annual 1998, Heroes for Hire 10 and 11, and Baby's First Deadpool book and Amazing Spider-Man 47. So that's one thing I love about these collections is when you have all those different random issues, it's great to be able to read them in order like this. Because even on like, if you go on like the Marvel app digitally, it's kind of hard to navigate through and figure out the order to read all these issues in. So I'm glad that Marvel does the work for me. Here's a little intro by Joe Kelly, written in November 2023. You don't always see that. You don't always see intros into these epic collections, so that's really cool. We have a comprehensive table of contents, as always. Joe Kelly, John Ostrander, Stan Lee, James Felder, Joe Cooper, Mark Powers on writing. Try and pick out some people. Pasquale Ferry, Pete Woods, Scott Collins, John Romita Sr., some artists there that I enjoy. There's the character you might recognize from the Deadpool movies. Yeah, so Deadpool, I mean, I think at this point it's like become the cool thing to hate Deadpool, that he's like the annoying character. But I like him. Baby's First Deadpool book. What is this? It looks like an activity book. Dress Pool. Make Way for Deadpool, a Real Quack Up. By Joe Cooper. That was like a picture book. Man, see, there's so many cool things you could do with the Deadpool character. I'd never even seen that, but that's awesome. I can't wait to read that. Amazing Spider-Man 47's in here. This classic issue. I'm gonna assume, that's where Stan Lee and John Romita come in. I'm gonna assume that has some sort of tie-in with some issue in this collection. But I haven't got to this era of my Deadpool reading, so I'll find out later. You are cordially invited. Excalibur Epic Collection Volume 9, collecting 1998 through 2001. It's got Excalibur 116 through 125, X-Men Unlimited 19, X-Men True Friends 1 through 3, and Excalibur 1 through 4, the 2001 series. I believe this is listed as the last Excalibur Epic Collection. So this will complete the run. So I think, if my memory serves, we have volumes 1 through 5, and then volume 9 of Excalibur and Epic Collection. Like I said, they're collected out of order, but you can fill in the gaps as you go along, or maybe just want some sort of certain eras, certain volumes. Yeah, I've only read Excalibur, like the Alan Davis, Chris Claremont era Excalibur, so this is more modern than I've read. So it'll be interesting to read this. The artwork looks like fun 90s artwork. Dale Eaglesham. But I don't know the stories hold up so good. Yeah, there are some Warren Ellis issues in here as well. So, but I probably won't get to this until I fill in all the rest of the gaps of Excalibur and lead up to this. I probably won't read this one out of order. Danny Ketch, Ghost Rider, Vengeance is Born. This is the first volume of Ghost Rider by Danny Ketch. I wish I had brought down my other Ghost Rider epic is upstairs. But this is Ghost Rider Danny Ketch. The other one's just Ghost Rider. Originally, this was solicited as Volume 6 of the Ghost Rider line, and it was just going to be a comprehensive Ghost Rider line, but they've chosen to separate it with that subtitle there, which is fine. I mean, all the issues are still going to be collected. They'll still be next to each other on the shelf in the same order, so what's the difference, really? But we got Howard Mackey, Roy Thomas, Dan Thomas on writing. Pencilers are Javier Salteres, Mark Teixeira, Mark Bagley, Larry Stroman, and Chris Marinan. I'm a big fan of Larry Stroman. So this is the 90s, right? 1990 through 1991. This is like the new Ghost Rider era with Danny Ketch. And we got Ghost Rider 1 through 12, Mark Spector, Moon Knight 25, Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme 28, and material from Marvel Comics presents 64 through 71. So all of the early stuff of Danny Ketch, which I'm excited to dive into. Like the Midnight Suns era of 90s Marvel is definitely a hole in my reading, where like Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange and Morbius, all those guys like kind of teaming up and crossing over. So I'm kind of excited to read that whole era of comics in these epic collections, and I hope that the Danny Ketch Ghost Riders do a good job of comprehensively collecting everything you need kind of from that era. I know I won't collect everything, but most of it, you know. The Invisible Woman versus the Invisible Girl. Oh, this is the Marvel Comics Presents cover. So this is only going to collect the Ghost Rider stories from Marvel Comics Presents. That was like an anthology series where it had like 4 or 5 strips in it of different characters. And I'm going to assume that this doesn't collect like the Invisible Woman versus Invisible Girl story or Star Fox. In it, it'll probably collect only the Ghost Rider story, which looks like a crossover with Wolverine. Yeah. There's definitely just a few issues of that. Volstagg, Poison, Hot Pursuit, Thing Fights Alone. But again, it's only going to have the Ghost Rider story in here, which is just a few pages. Oh, it says Acts of Vengeance Part 3. So it's the Acts of Vengeance story, which is the big Marvel crossover back then. Yeah, this one looks like a lot of fun. What's this one? Oh, Ghost Rider number 10. Stars of Blood. Mark Teixeira on inks. Javier Salteres on pencils. I love the black border to this. It gives it a dark feeling. And it stands out amongst your other comics, Marvel comics on the stands. Yeah, definitely excited to read that. One more epic collection, and then I have the one book that's not an epic collection in here, but kind of similar feel to it. So let's go with this one. This is Luke Cage, The Fire this time. This one's exciting because now we have Luke Cage Volume 1 and 2. We have Iron Fist Volume 1, and we have Luke Cage and Iron Fist 1 through 4. Meaning, in epic collections, we have the entirety of Luke Cage Iron Fist collected, which is exciting. I've been waiting for this one for a few years now. This will be Volume 2, like I said. And it collects Power Man 24 through 47 in annual number 1. So the Luke Cage and Iron Fist, Power Man, that's what it's called. Power Man and Iron Fist Epic Collections 1 through 4 will start off with issues number 48. That's when they started teaming up. And then the title officially became Power Man and Iron Fist with issue 50, I believe, or 51. I forget, but it's super exciting to read this. Don McGregor, Marv Wolfman, Chris Claremont, George Tuska. A lot of great creators on here. We do see appearances by the Black Goliath in this era, or this early part of the collection. And Black Goliath, I believe, has some issues in Ant-Man Epic Collection Volume 2. But Luke Cage and Iron Fist both came out of like that same era of the 70s, where in film, especially like in the grindhouse sector of film and cinema, the blaxploitation movies and the kung fu movies were a big craze. So it kind of was serendipitous to match the two together. I've always said that I think it'd be awesome if Quentin Tarantino directed a 70s era period piece of Power Man and Iron Fist. Because Quentin Tarantino also loves that grindhouse era of 70s blaxploitation and kung fu. But it'll probably never happen because you'd have to make that rated R and violent and bloody and kind of over the top to make sense. And I don't think the MCU would do that. But one can dream. But if that sounds cool to you, that's kind of what you get with these comics. The last book on my collection to show off is not an Epic collection, but it is Godzilla IDW Library Collection Volume 1. So IDW's been doing these library collections, which are standard size trade paperbacks. There's no difference in trim size. I said they're very much similar to the Epic collections because they're library collections, which I think is comprehensively collecting everything they've ever released of Godzilla in a sort of chronological order. They're doing a similar thing with Star Trek and Dungeons and Dragons. Is that right? And then TMNT, they're still keeping to their different collections. They do have a comprehensive formatting and paperback and hardcover of that, but it doesn't carry the title of IDW Library Collection. But it does have a cool trade dress on it. So we have like the alphabet at the top, like a library, with the G highlighted because it's Godzilla. And then of the genres we're looking at, arts and recreation. And it's 741.5, Volume 1. Here's the back. Godzilla Library Collection is a comprehensive line of books that will collect every Godzilla comic series published by IDW. So that's what it looks like. I love kaiju comics. I love Godzilla. I love kaiju movies. So I wanted to pick this up and see how it was collected, how the collection looks and everything, and then judge if I wanted to keep going, because Volume 2 does come out soon. So this collects Godzilla Gangsters and Goliaths by John Layman and art by Alberto Ponticelli. Godzilla Legends, which has work by Matt Frank, Simon Gain, Tony Parker, Dean Haspiel, E.G. Sue. I thought this had, maybe it's the next one, it has the Eric Powell stuff in it. Yeah, it must be Volume 2 has the Eric Powell stuff, which is the guy from Goon, which I really like. So the only stuff I've read from this before is The Half-Century War by James Stokoe, who did the story, art, letters, and then the color assist by Heather Breckel. That's an amazing story. It's like the best Godzilla comic I've ever read. I've not read either of these two, so it'll be exciting to read through these and kind of pick out if they live up to what I expect from a Godzilla comic. So it looks like the way they've collected this. So they have a proper credits page numbers. All the credits of the issues are in there. So that's good. I'm assuming that means issue 1. And then we have, art by Jeff Darrow on this pinup. That's amazing. And we have a pinup here. And then it starts the issue. And the issue credits are right here. I'm just curious about that because that is something that is important to me, as you can imagine from the what I said about Epic Collections earlier. Here's a pinup by James Stokoe. So it's cool. They have like little pinups in here between issues. It's a really cool idea. I'm assuming that's what separates the issues. Yeah, because there's no issue number on this one, but it does have credits at the bottom. Interesting. See if I can find another title page. Here's another Jeff Darrow piece. It's really awesome. I mean, because every artist wants to draw Godzilla, right? So we'll collect all these cool pinups they've done over the years. Or it might not even be a pinup. It might have been like a variant cover. Ooh, this artwork looks amazing. I do always say that I think all kaiju comics should always be collected in giant kaiju-sized hardcovers, but I'll make an exception here because I just want to read some fun Godzilla comics. Who's the artist on this one? This looks fun. That art's by Bob Eggleton, right there. Arthur Adams on this pinup. Art Adams, James Stokoe, and Jeff Darrow. I mean, can you pick any better artists to do pinups of Godzilla? I don't know who the artist is on that one. Is it Dave Eggleton? Here's issue 2 and 3, Half-Century War. Oh, that's the third story? What's going on here? I don't know. What is that even indicating? Because this is the beginning of Half-Century War. Yes, look at this stuff. This is James Stokoe's Half-Century War. Everybody needs to read this. It tells the entirety. kind of the entire first 50 years of Godzilla, with one person kind of chasing him as Godzilla's kind of his white whale, if you think like Moby Dick, and he's kind of chasing him for 50 years. I guess would be the easiest pitch for it. And Jane Stokoe's artwork is just so freaking amazing and detailed. Yeah, definitely have to read Half Century War, which has been collected in different hardcover collections and whatnot too. So here's a big spread by Art Adams. That'd be amazing as like a poster on someone's wall. We have Jeff Darrow. So these are pencils and inks. Look, Jeff Darrow's pencils and inks. Look how insane that is before we color it. Like, it looks like a mess, but you can like sit there and stare at it for hours. Then we have some work by Alberto Ponticelli. So yeah, Godzilla Epic Collection, or Library Edition, kind of a library collection, kind of an epic collection of sorts. Luke Cage, Ghost Rider, Excalibur, Deadpool, Daredevil, X-Men, X-Force, Thor, Spider-Man and Deadpool, Marvel 2-in-1, and Silver Surfer. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe. Comment down below with your thoughts on these epic collections, and let me know what you have to say about them. I always like to I reply to every comment. I like to talk to you guys in the comments about comics. And stay tuned for my live shows. I go live once a week. Have a great one.